Blake. Taking a look at your brother here. Again, the way I had to get the film in, the frame rates aren't exactly the same, but we're pretty close here. We may be missing a frame or two within your brother's swing here, but for the most part, it's going to be good enough to get a pretty good analysis of his move with the ball here. Not certain of his age, but he appears to be either high school senior, maybe college freshman, sophomore. But I mean, one thing that you kind of notice about him physically is he's pretty well put together, with his upper body. At least you can definitely tell he's a strong kid. All right, when I look at his swing, when I'm breaking it down again, three main areas: back leg, back arm, and front side, and we want to make sure that we see whip effect in the swing, and we want to see that we make sure that we see a good smooth throwing pattern overall. All right, let's go ahead and start with the back leg, which again, we want the back leg to control our stride. But we want to feel like our stride is all about loading and unloading the back leg, so that when we load our back leg, it pulls the front foot up, and then when we unload it, it puts the front foot down. And we want to see that unloading happen before that heel drops. Okay, and we're getting that over here. So we're getting a good load, and we're getting a lateral unload out of that back leg. And again, that's what we want to see. We want to see those muscles here at the side of the hip, gluteus medius, driving energy into and against this wall we're hitting behind on the front side. Okay, and the foot, often an indicator, and we want to be off the back and behind the front. The goal isn't to lift the foot or drag the foot, but often it's an indicator of did we drive, did we use that back leg as a driver, did we drive off the back side and hit behind the front side. And here we can see he's off the back at that point. I think the move could have a little more rhythm to it. It's a little stiff. Maybe a little bit more flexion in the knee. We don't want to see a whole lot of movement in the knees, generally speaking. We don't want to see them wobble and that sort of thing. But I think maybe a little bit more flexion in the back knee may loosen the move up a little bit. But overall, we get a load and a lateral unload, and we get a good driving component there. He's using good natural footwork, meaning when the foot comes up, the back leg is loaded, and then before the front heel lands, the back leg is unloaded. Okay, so the basic overall component out of how that back leg is moving is very good. I think it could maybe use a little more rhythm. All right, now let's go on and move to the front side. Okay, which really kind of includes obviously the footwork of the front foot, but really everything on this front side, including the eyes, front shoulder, front hip, everything all the way down on that front side. And we really want that front side, again, to be, this solid wall, that we're hitting behind here. Okay, so we use the back leg to drive into and against this wall, and we're gonna really try to feel ourselves hit behind that wall there on the front side that we establish. Okay, we want a nice strong front side. Okay, looking at it does establish some good tilt out of the front side, and that's one of the big key things that we want to see. Is we want to be off the back side, but we want to hit leverage behind this front side. Okay, and we want to establish this nice clean diagonal line there, where knee is behind front foot, hip is behind knee, shoulder behind hip, and head and eyes behind everything else. Okay, and we're getting that here. Okay, so the overall, the dichotomy of hitting, the people that the thing that people often see is they see people with this nice tilt and they think their weight's on their back foot. Well, obviously they're not, but the key to hitting is being able to drive off this backside, but still, once the heel drops, to stabilize the center of gravity, so the head doesn't drift forward anymore. Okay, and we hit behind that front side. So off the back, behind the front, off the back, behind the front. That's what's very important here. And he's stabilizing pretty well there. Okay, so the overall look of off the back, behind the front, the overall pattern here is very good. Okay, very nice overall move there. Okay. Now, we'll kind of work our way up here. From the footwork on up, and again, we want to feel like the back leg is putting that foot down. I feel like he's kind of trying to set that toe down a little early. Okay, the foot does land toe heel. There's no question about it, but it should be almost simultaneous. I feel like he may have in the past been kind of a put the toe out on thin ice kind of hitter, where he kind of went out there first. I would concern myself a little less with trying to put that toe down and just really let that back leg control the action maybe a little bit more. Okay, and you can kind of see a little bit as he lands how the foot turns out just a little bit. So there's a little bit of toe down and then a little bit of turning out of the foot there. Again, Adrian's move is perfect to where the foot stays totally square. And so as we go through here, he tends to get a little bit more turning out of the knee. And I'd say the front leg isn't quite as stable as what Adrian's got. There's a little bit more move side to side in the knee. So really what you want to do is you want to start bent and square like he's got it here. Let the back leg pull it up. Let the back leg put it down. And really land bent and square. Not have quite that much, movement in the knee towards the outside. There is some room for the foot to be, 45 degrees, but you don't want to feel like, you're setting down and then kind of, spinning on the toe a little bit. And that's really not too bad of a move, but I think there's room for improvement. I think the biggest area of it is really trying to use the back leg to control the feet and have a little bit less of kind of toe down early stuff. Really just get into your back leg, load it, use it, and try not to be too concerned with getting the toe down early and turning the foot over. On this swing here, you can see it a little more. This was another swing that we had. And you can see how it kind of, he's kind of toe down here, and then it turns over. In other words, it's fine to let it kind of hang there in the air. I like that a lot. But really, instead of trying to kind of set the toe down, really let the backside go first. It's a fine line. It really is. It seems like a minute thing, but it can make a difference. You can kind of see it there again. Watch it one more time, how the toe's down and the foot kind of turns open, and then the knee kind of flares with it. Okay, it's not bad. It's not that bad, but there is room for improvement there. The other thing we look at here, lead arm. We want to feel like that lead arm stays long and loose, stays close to us. We don't want to force or lock out the front arm into extension, but we don't want to fight it either, and just let that arm lay. And I think we're in a real good position there. I think that looks pretty good. And then here we don't want to feel like we got that lead arm kind of trying to pull the bat around in a circle. And maybe there's a little bit of that there, but I'm going to kind of focus on that really with the back arm and how the hands are finishing here in a second. The other thing we want to see is that head stay really stable. Okay, we want to just our eyes back taking a picture. And I think we do a good job there. Obviously, if our posture is good, usually the head action is going to be pretty good, and I think we're in pretty good shape there. There may be, just some slight sideways movement, here, but it's a little bit nitpicky. Overall, I think the head's in pretty good position.